It will be known moving forward as Nevo EV Review Ireland YouTube channel. So it will have the same branding as nevo.ie, and you'll see a lot more of the imagery and the branding coming across onto my original YouTube channel. So I'd like to thank all the people who supported the channel, Patreon, over the last couple of years. So I was launched in 2020, so 3 years last month. And I really appreciate all the support that I've got from members of the Patreon community, viewers, people who commented, people who subscribed. We're at 13,400 subscribers. There's a big drive on to get to 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So getting the channel and building it up and having that support, and there was PayPal donations, and there was lots of different ways people thanked me, like on this live feed. If you're watching it, there's Paddy in from the AA. Thank you very much. Paddy was supporting me from the very beginning as well. Paddy was the second person to give me a car back in one of his previous roles with Volkswagen Ireland. He gave me a Volkswagen e-Golf. So I really appreciate all that support. So it was great, and it got me to a certain stage. And now with Nevo, which is 1 year old this week, it's great to see the growth of that website. And we've lots of plans, lots of stuff coming down the line, exciting times at Nevo. So we wanted to bring it all together. And as general manager, I'm proud to be able to put the Nevo brand and Nevo name on my personal YouTube channel, and it'll all become the one now. So when you hear me, it'll be all Nevo. So it's all good. Steve coming in from Boston, great to see you, and watching on YouTube, so I can see exactly where that is. So wherever you're watching, if you can let me know where you're located geographically, but also what channel you're watching on. So I know that LinkedIn is coming through loud and clear, and also YouTube is coming through loud and clear. Then we have Facebook potentially coming through as well. We have, good afternoon, Heinrich Leisner. Great to see you, Heinrich, and a supporter. I really appreciate the support that you've given me over the year, Heinrich. So thank you very much for that. We've got Phil coming in from Geotab on LinkedIn. Thanks to, well done to Derek and Team Nevo. Really appreciate it. Phil is one of our strategic partners and helps with our advisory side of the business, where we help fleets transition to electric with the phenomenal data that the Geotab system and devices can give. So real great if you're looking to transition your vehicles to an electric fleet. This is more of a business conversation. We work very closely with Phil and his team at Nevo, so great to see it. We have the EV Association Northern Ireland coming in on YouTube. Great to see. Proud to be a committee member there, and lots of good news happening up there, slowly, but it is happening. It is moving along. And we've got Tony coming in. What's your favorite EV on the market right now, and what's your most anticipated model due soon? Tony, straight into the business, not messing around. Favorite EV on the market right now? What's your most anticipated model due soon? My favorite EV on the market right now, this is a tough one. It depends. Personally, the BYD, the MG, I'm more of that more cost-effective side of things. I love the ID Buzz. And so it depends on my mood, depends on what I'm needing. It's only myself, Patricia, and the dog, so we don't need a lot of carrying space. But my favorite, I really like the Kia Niro EV. They're like all my children. There isn't a favorite one. There's lots of good stuff out there. I'm looking forward to test driving a couple of new models coming down the line. There's only one I haven't test drove across all of the 72, so it's the new Q8 e-tron, so that's coming out soon on the channel, so I've got that booked in. My most anticipated model is probably the video coming out on Monday, and that's on the back of the trip to China last week, which is the BYD Seal. Lots of people interested in it. It was phenomenal to get into it, have a look around in it, and be able to drive it as well. So that is really going to shake up the marketplace. Under embargo, so I can't really talk too much about it, but keep an eye on the channel. But yeah, it's phenomenal to think that there's 72 full electric vehicles in the Irish market at the moment. Hi, Derek. Good evening here from Mullingar. And Barry, great to see you from Barry. Thanks for the comment. Andrew and Clane, YouTube on the TV, Honda E, nice, and the Model Y. Nice. So, Andrew, are they your cars, or the car that you like and the one you're most anticipated, or that's your outside the door, or you're watching me on YouTube in the Honda E? Lots to go on there. Do you think, Derek, if the Zeekr brand would come to Ireland? Great question. Yes, I'd say so. If it comes to the UK, Heinrich, I think it'll just be very easy to send a few across to Ireland and have maybe a single showroom like some of the other brands are having. So very much something like that, I think, would be great. Lots of people tuning in across all the different channels, so it's great to see. And thank you very much for all the comments on YouTube. Thank you, Joan. Appreciate the comment. Ionic 6 is exceptional. Yes, I know Paddy and Blake had it over with the AAA to France recently. So efficient. It's funny, Paddy, some people don't like the looks of it and just cannot get over it. I think it looks great. I definitely think you have to see it in person. But yeah, the Ionic 6 Hyundai. Yeah, we have to say it like that now. Not Hyundai. Hyundai. Yeah, really good. Looking forward to the Porsche Macan. I'm looking forward to testing out the Lotus Electra. That looks good. I'm looking forward to Neo coming as well. Do you know if the Zeekr brand comes in Ireland? So it doesn't come yet, Heinrich, but potentially will. Most importantly, which EV has the best center console dog seat for Darwin? So Steve was talking about our last video where we had the BYD Atto 3, and in the thumbnail you can see Darwin is up on the center console. So what we do is we seatbelt her into the back seat, but she likes to come up between myself and Patricia to see what's going on. And yes, if she could get up on the front seat, she would very much so like to be up looking out. Yeah, the Darwin seat, there's probably going to be a spin-off Darwin YouTube channel, to be quite honest, Steve. BYD seal is awesome. Embargo, I can't say anything until Monday morning. There is a video coming. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so if you're watching not on YouTube. But yeah, amazing, really. And that trip, and we'll talk a bit more about that trip now in depth as we go into the hour. But yeah, it was great to get over to China to have a look around the factories and lots of other things. But yeah, BYD seal, YouTube. Thank you, Jonathan. Great to get the thumbs up. Beginning to see BYD. Joan, yeah, there's a few of them around. And I've seen some taxis. I've seen some people use them as passenger vehicles, obviously. I've heard about some commercial fleets starting to use them as well. So it's starting to definitely creep into the marketplace. And we've got the 2 dealerships in Dublin and the 1 in Cork. And then there's going to be more dealerships appointed around the country. So it looks good. You're watching. Thank you, Andrew. Nice. Honda E and a Model Y. That's a nice car park outside the door. Who else have we got? Yeah, Adam, how are you? Ionic 6 is nice, but designed as a family car, really, which is one of the best for the 2x2 and the Beagle Dog. Which one is best? I like that SUV shape. So you're talking the Skoda Enyaq, the ID4, Q4 e-tron. So that Volkswagen group, the Kia Niro, the Kia Niro EV and the Hyundai Kona. That looks good. It was at the launch of the petrol and hybrid version, but the EV version is coming in October to Ireland. And it is going to be good. It's like 20 millimeters shorter than the Tucson. So like amazing scale up. The video of the channel of my first impressions when I saw it fully charged. So there is a first look at it. Hi, Niall. Looking forward to the seal as my original choice, but elderly parents dictated the higher Atto 3. And Niall, apologies to hear about what happened to yours. Niall was involved in a road traffic incident with his Atto 3, unfortunately. Niall, are you going to get a replacement once insurance and everything gets sorted out? Hopefully that's the case, but I think you're really enjoying it when you had it. When is the VW ID7 coming to Ireland? Barry, I don't know. I think it's probably going to be a 241 vehicle is what I'm hearing for sure coming down the line. Ionic 5N. So Phil has an Ionic 5. And the N series, yeah, energy boosters, formerly known as gas guzzlers. What is it? Gosh, something Grin Boost, NGB. So there's a button on it that can give you boost for 10 seconds or something like so. It was at Goodwood Festival of Speed, which I've never gone to, and I am really looking forward to going to at some stage. And I'm currently toying with the idea of whether I will go to the IAA motor show in Munich in September, because I think there's going to be a lot of stuff there. I've got my tickets already booked for CES in Las Vegas in January for the tech show, which is really an EV show now as well. So lots of traveling coming up. Hi, Derek. Got my BYD Atto 3 taxi on the road. 3 weeks in, no complaints. Had one of the Nevo colleagues as a passenger a week or so ago back. Very good, Phil. Yes, the team at Nevo is definitely getting bigger. And the overall group, which is Drive, we have a number of companies within the group. We're at about 34 members of staff now. So it's great to see that coming through. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you can give the video a like, make sure you leave a comment to let me know where you're watching from. And then on LinkedIn and on Facebook, somebody's given me a Facebook like, which I really appreciate it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Niall. For space and comfort, I still love my Enyaq 80. Beautiful car. Somebody was asking me today where a friend of his was asking us about a secondhand Enyaq 80. And probably one of the things I want to talk about tonight as to how do we get the government, the Minister for Finance, Neil McGrath, and all of the relevant parties lined up for this budget so that we can start being serious about getting enough EVs on the road that can start filtering down into that second-hand fleet. And really, it is boiling down to BIK at the moment. It is boiling down to a person that is buying a company vehicle or getting a company car, looking at BIK, looking at businesses, looking at the VAT that they can get back on the diesel. And the government need to really balance that equation out, because it's not balanced at the moment. If you're getting VAT back or a tax rebate back on your diesel purchases, you're not able to do that in electric. And so making sure that we get parity between electric and diesel. So when a company car, the reason I'm talking about this is secondhand EVs, and somebody was asking me about a secondhand Enyaq. We need more car EVs in the business fleets out there. So Enyaq 80, beautiful car, and I did a coast to coast there recently, with a bit different on my channel, where I did a bit of history about Charlestown and about Dún Laoghaire. It's actually done very well, so all good. Brian, good evening, Derek and all. It is true that we may not be getting the Arbat EV here. It's a very small market, Brian. We all like it, but would we buy it? So I suppose the Gowan group have to make that decision. I haven't heard whether it's a yay or nay. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I don't know. I won't comment. So definitely it is something that we need to think about. Thank you very much. I have to translate that after it doesn't give me an automatic translate here. So thank you very much for your comment on LinkedIn. Where is the gilet? My very good colleague, Liam Grimes. Liam, if you saw this home studio and how it's already roasting hot in here, and I know the gilet doesn't come off for a lot of things, but yes, the new Nevo EV Review gilet and all of the branded clothing, the wardrobe is getting refreshed after a couple of years. So thank you very much for the comment, Liam. Oh yes, the new Volvo EX30 looks tasty. Yeah, a lot of the videos were released today in the UK YouTubers. So we have Ginny Buckley over at electrifying.com and Jack Scarlett for fully charged had first looks in the studio of the EX30 Nobby on cars, and Dave Humphreys here in Ireland went into the international launch in Copenhagen a couple of months ago now, probably at this stage. And so yeah, it looks good, and the price point, fastest Volvo ever, not just electric. So yeah, that looks good. And the size, it's a 300 odd litre boot on the low 300s, back seat behind me. So I've always been a fan of the XC40 and the C40. I love those styling, and even Patricia recently said, I saw a really nice Volvo electric SUV there recently. Might be a winner in the house, but she is a Tesla Model 3 fan here, a red one. Does Ireland have any incentive for used EVs? So at the moment, it is the likes of the road tax. It is the likes of the toll bridge, Steve. You still get your EV charging grant, whether you have an EV or not. But no, not really. In Scotland, they have a government 0% interest loan up to £25,000 for a purchase of an used EV. We don't need incentives, Steve. We actually just need more vehicles. That's where we're at. We need to get more vehicles onto that leasing and fleet market, so that then after they come through the 2 and 3 year and potentially 4 year cycles, that the fleet stuff, because traditionally we would have got our secondhand stuff from the United Kingdom, which we're not getting now. They have enough of an appetite for it. Huge congrats on your Phil. Congrats on your Atto 3. Yes, Phil. Congrats on your Atto 3. I love my Polestar 2 and can't wait to drive an Ireland later on this year. Beautiful car, and price reductions or price realignments there recently. So the entry level and the next 2 levels up all qualify now for the grant. So you're talking 52,000 euros, 53, 54. They're all in that 50,000 euro mark up to 60. The only one is the long range performance. And so, yeah, real great price adjustment there, and reacting to the market. And the team there, Kieran and the team, we've a Nevo Polestar 2 currently as a company car that we're driving around to our meetings. So it was great to get that from the Polestar team here off their fleet side here in Dublin. No government should subsidise diesel. I'll let you jump into the comments there, folks. But yeah, at the moment, you get VAT back on diesel purchasing. So we need to make that a bit more equal, is what we're looking for. Hi, Derek. What do you think of the iX40? iX40. iX40. Marita, let me know, is it the, I don't know what car that is, Marita. Is it a plug-in hybrid? It may be a plug-in hybrid. I usually only look after EVs, Marita, but I'm sure there are plenty of reviews out there from other channels that will be able to help you out. But if it may be that I think there is an iX40. If somebody else knows, it sounds like a Hyundai or Hyundai. There are the comments so far. I think I've got everybody here. And last week I was in China. Left Dublin on the Sunday before that. I spent 4 nights over there. Flew out on here on the Sunday and got over there on, came back on the Friday. So left Dublin, flew through Doha on Qatar and landed in Hong Kong. And then passed through Hong Kong by road into Shenzhen, which is the big Chinese city of 17 million official. And I believe there's a lot more migrant workers in that city as well, to go and see the BYD setup over there. So we did a lot of stuff in Shenzhen, and then we did a couple of tours. So arrived late on the Monday night. And what was interesting about Hong Kong, because it was a former British colony, they drive on the right-hand side of the road like we do. But then when you cross over the bridge into mainland China, they're left-hand side. So you've got people driving different cars across the bridge on different sides of the road. It blew my mind. It always is. I need to try and figure out what side of the road I'm on whenever I'm traveling on international trips. But China is left-hand side. Hong Kong is right-hand side. And then on the Tuesday, we went to the BYD headquarters, which they call the Hexagon because it is the shape of a hexagon. Huge site. They've outgrown it already. It was only built in 2019. So BYD, build your dreams. Early mid-90s, they were started set up and they were making batteries for mobile phones and other portable devices. And then 20 years ago, they started into cars. So they are the largest producer of electric and electrified plug-in hybrid vehicles in the world. Lots coming down the line. We got to see the history of BYD. We went to the design center and we actually met with their chief designer, originally from Europe. And we got to see their crash test laboratories and research laboratories for electromagnetic, sound and nuisance, all this kind of stuff. Amazing. BYD also make buses. A lot of the electric buses you'll see around the world are BYD, and airports and double-decker buses in London. And so we got to see the bus, the first ever mass-produced electric bus that was retired off the road. It was on the road from 2015. We got to see the nail puncture test that BYD do for their Blade battery. We got to see a couple of vehicles that are going to be on my channel early next week. So again, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And so it was amazing to see BYD in Shenzhen. They've got that. They also do a rail. They offer to produce a light rail system, 2 different systems, medium capacity and light capacity, and they have that running on their own campus to get their employees to and from different parts of the campus. Sky Shuttle and Sky Rail. So it was, if those of you who follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it in my stories last week. Then we traveled to the Blade battery in the middle of the country in a different city. So we got to see the production of the actual Blade batteries. So yeah, an amazing trip. Amazing to see what's there, what's coming down the line. And yeah, some videos that I can't talk about at the moment, but we'll be able to talk about on late Sunday night, early morning, Monday morning. So some more comments. I thought that you only got VAT back on a commercial vehicle, not fleet. So if it is a fleet, it's considered a commercial vehicle. So yeah, just to clarify now for sure. Diesel, BMW i4, iX. Oh, iX40. So the Jeep, is that what you meant, Marita? The iX40. Yeah, beautiful, but big money. But yeah, very nice. I was lucky enough to be in Munich when they launched it, and it was the videos on my channel. So yeah, the iX, gorgeous. Some people don't like the style in Marita. That's the only thing. The iX xDrive 40, the 240 kilowatt and BMW SUV. Thank you, Paddy, for the clarification. Would be interested to see how Tesla Advanced Autopilot works after when crossing the bridge. Yeah, that's a very good point, Wasim. I don't know. I don't know. Did they have right-hand drive in Hong Kong, Tesla? Maybe not. Maybe they got it from Singapore. Neely, good to see you. Plenty of videos on YouTube about BYD fires in general. Have you heard anything? No. And yeah, there's definitely a talk about it, and but some of these videos then are being countered by saying that actually wasn't a fire in a specific BYD vehicle or a Blade battery vehicle. So yeah, we were asking those tough questions on the trip for sure. Shenzhen is China's eco city. Green number plates. Yeah, I was noticing that. So all the taxis, electric buses, 16,000. And Shenzhen Bus Company also was 50,000 BYD electric taxis. Yes. So electric taxis everywhere, electric buses everywhere that you could really make it. The green number plate, as much as in the UK, you've got that little green flag where the European Union, don't mention Brexit, stripe was, the little EU. You can, if it's a full EV, you can have the green, but in Shenzhen, it was the whole license plate was a greeny kind of color. You definitely could see. And when I was sitting on the bus going between the different sites, the amount of EVs that I did not know the name of the company, didn't know the model of the car. I think I was listening to Martin on EV News Daily there recently as to the different numbers of fully electric car companies in China. I think he said something like 150 or something, like a phenomenal amount of EV car companies. Obviously, there's going to be consolidation and mergers and acquisitions, etc., running around the whole place. So, yeah, great to see it. And electric scooters as well. There was electric scooters everywhere. Why do people never go on about ice fires as much? Like there was one up in Castleknock there recently. Wasn't a peep about it. And I never want to see anything go on fire. With my background, as some of you know, I was in the fire brigade for 14 years. That, you know, when a car goes on fire, it's lots of these things happen. But when it's an electric car, Lord, there was a car park or a car on fire in one of the basements in the hotels up in Ballymun, I think, there during the week as well. Nothing, you know, all very quiet. But if it was an electric car, we'd hear all about it. LinkedIn, Kilmacud, great to see you, Paul. I need to meet you, Paul. I know I've got some stuff for you, and I've been promising to meet up with you for a cup of coffee, so I definitely will get to it. So yeah, last week was China, an amazing time, and since last did this broadcast, we've obviously had BYD launch in Ireland with the BYD Atto 3, a couple of videos on my channel, and then myself and a couple of other Irish journalists were out at the BYD Dolphin launch in Barcelona, Madrid, somewhere in Spain. So that video is up on my channel too. We had the launch of the VW ID.7. We had the Ioniq 6 launch, like Paddy was talking about. What else do we have launched? It was at the Jeep Avenger launch, European Car of the Year. Still not on the Irish roads yet, and we're getting towards the end of the year. Myself and Mark Noble Nobby were at the Tavascan launch, and also the preview. I was traveling with Paddy from AA with the preview for Skoda's all electric new 6 vehicles that are coming down the line. We were over fully charged, which was amazing. So lots, the Cyberster, the MG, I got to go and have a look at that in London. It was just a static video, but again, doing very well. And then it was at Goodwood last weekend, and it was up and down the Goodwood Hill. So it was great to see that. I was on holidays in Corfu, and I was able to rent a Citroen Ami. Everybody was rolling their eyes. Number one, that I did some EV videos on holidays. Number two, that it was a very colourful shirt. I got lots of comments about the shirt. The shirt's going to make a comeback, folks. Let's just say that. What do you think about VW and the demand falling for them but rising for everybody else? Personally, I think the ID range is overpriced for what you get. It is down to competition. It is going to be down to price. It is going to be down to perceived value. It is going to be conquest from incoming new brands, the likes of BYD and others, that are going to be taking this market share from the legacy automakers and the incumbents. So it is going to be who has the best value. Not always about price. It's about tech, fit, finish, NCAP, Euro NCAP safety rating. So yeah, and it's they need to realign themselves if they want to do it. And we've got the word about Mitsubishi not being able to sell any more cars or stopping selling cars in China because China don't want electric. And it's going to be the way of other countries as well. We're the perfect size country here in Ireland for electric. We're not too tall, we're not too wide, we're not too cold, we're not too hot. You know, there's a lot of positives about it. It won't be an electric vehicle for everybody, but and it won't suit everybody yet. But we're definitely, a lot of people could go that way. The price has to come down. The used car market has to increase. So that would be what I would think. BZ4X, they never launched it in Ireland as much as it's here, but they never launched it to the press. So I haven't gotten one from Toyota Ireland. I saw it at a show in Las Vegas last year, and I did a video on it on my channel. So I don't know, Barry. I'd love to get one. I know a couple of dealers have reached out, but I always like to deal directly with the manufacturer so that if I do or don't like it, I'm not putting somebody's, their own dealership. I'm not saying anything negative about them. They were good enough to give me a car, so I try not to deal directly with dealerships if I can. But with BZ4X, I've seen a few of them around. I've passed one today. There's a couple of them as taxis in Dublin. A lot of taxi drivers are driving Toyotas as their taxi, be that combustion or be that Priuses, etc. So yeah, it's interesting to see that one of the best top 3 selling in May. I think it was April or May that they obviously got a load of them in, and people have an interest in them. Hold on a second, I skipped one. ID software is bad. Yeah, it came out fast, and they definitely had to start adjusting it. And online wise, they had to make sure that they were over-the-air updates, and it had to get to a certain number before it could get over the air. You had to bring it into your local VW dealership. So yeah, it's getting better is what I'd say, Sean, for sure. Hi, Derek, from a primary medical cert holders by going electric that cannot claim VAT back on petrol or diesel. Is there any move by the government to address this? Yeah, so I know that, Shauna, there is definitely talks with regards to the likes of the ZEVI department, Zero Emission Vehicle Ireland, and they are constantly in talks to try and help people get into electric vehicles by talking to the Department of Transport, by talking to the Department of Finance. But we need to start writing to our local councillors. We need to start talking to our local TDs to say, we want to go electric. So what can you do to help us get into that electric vehicle? So whether it's subsidizing the energy, if you haven't got off-street parking. So there's lots of stuff there that we want to make sure is helping as much as we can get people into electric vehicles that want to genuinely get into electric vehicles. The subsidy thing, some people, it winds them up that people who were able to afford a 50 or 60,000 euro electric car probably didn't need the subsidy. Now that grant reduction came in on the 1st of July from 5,000 down to 3,500. So we're definitely starting to see that realignment. And I was on with Adrian Weckler on the Irish Independent podcast last week, and we were chatting about where is that money going that the government would have ring-fenced, and it is going into that network. And so we've got the Sports Ireland fund starting the first tender for site inspections and site assessments are going to be coming out soon. We've got the Shared Ireland fund where it's on the border counties. We've got the neighbourhood charging plan coming into place. We've got the motorway regulations coming in where European regulations are saying that you're going to have a minimum of 300 kilowatt every 60 kilometers on main motorways and artery routes around the country. So there's definitely momentum building. But yeah, we definitely are looking to do something like that. After this, I'm jumping on a committee meeting for the Irish EVO Association. New name for that as well. We had an AGM, and I was thankfully voted back onto the committee for a third year. And yeah, we probably need a budget submission as to what we're asking for. I've hounded every councillor TD in the area, including Mr. Ryan himself, about on-street parking charges, but absolute brick wall every time from Dublin City Council. Niall, I'm working on something there with a couple of parties that will help that. So fingers crossed it will be in your area. But yeah, there's definitely, it's ESB networks. It is a charge point operator. It is all to do with the metering of those street lights and how we power this existing street furniture. So it's been worked on. And curb or charge have a great solution. Yeah, there's lots of solutions out there for sure. It's just we're obviously set up a bit funny in here in Ireland with the metering of our public lighting. Can't speak for the RI, but used EV car market in NI way overpriced. As you know, I traveled over to Great Britain to buy a Mazda MX-30. That's right, and save 4K on the price charged by local dealer. Bargains out there, yeah, definitely, Jonathan. There's definitely bargains, and especially in the EV side of things, and that secondhand market pricing, where it was a bit crazy for a while, is definitely starting to equalize and normalize, I suppose, is what we're looking at doing. Hi, Derek. Charging speeds are critical for EVs. Drove my EV6, beautiful car, to France and recently via the UK. The Ionity chargers were amazing. Yes, we need more of these in Ireland. AC should be all upgraded to DC. It's just horses for courses. It is very much, if it is on motorway and major roads or trunk roads, it should be DC, and it should be a very high quality DC charge. And with EV6, it'll take it at the 800 volt architecture. And Ionity, phenomenal infrastructure. I think they put in recently. If you go to the Irish EV Association, there's a new section on the website where they talk about planning applications for hubs. If I remember correctly, Ionity are looking at a new fast charging hub, and they don't do small, they do big numbers and big wattages in Waterford, Wexford for sure. I know that there's talks on at the moment of the V4 supercharger for Tesla. It'd be great to start to see those opening up around the country, although Tesla is starting to become a major player on the Irish marketplace with regards to the numbers of volumes that they're selling. Number one best-selling EV in Ireland in June. Big push at the end of their Q2. Most ESB charging network in the north are free. Not anymore, actually, Wasim. It was turned on there a couple of weeks ago. It'd be great, some schemes rolling out here. And so they started charging for it, because what was happening is private sector wasn't coming into the north because you couldn't compete with free. We had free ESB charging in Ireland for a number of years, actually, at the very start, and up until about when I set up the channel about 2019, 2020. I'm getting old now. But yeah, I remember when the chargers were free. But the problem was, Wasim, people used to hog them. And so there definitely has to be a cost to it. And putting in this infrastructure is not cheap. Excellent to hear. Yeah, it is coming down. All the way around, we need more AC chargers at destinations. Absolutely, kudos for sure. We need it at workplaces. We need it at hotels. We need it at cinemas. Anywhere you're parking your car for a period of time. Supermarkets are getting on the bandwagon here. So it is, I know, the Easy Goer, working with the likes of Aldi's and Lidl and others. So yeah, definitely, where ABC always be charging. I've had a 62 kilowatt Leaf SUV on the market for about 7 weeks now, and at this stage about 6k less than the dealer prices and 25% of the mileage, but no movement. Happy for it not to sell just yet until the AT was placed. Yeah, thankfully you didn't have it sold, Niall. But yeah, there definitely is a normalization, and I think Leafs are starting to feel the pinch is small, but just there's so much choice now. So values aren't as good as they used to be. Any update on Tesla opening up in Cove and Cork? Yeah, I believe that they opened, but they had to get planning permission. So it was a small bit of a misunderstanding there as to whether they'd applied or had applied or who'd applied. And so it is, it's on the way, I believe, imminently, all going well. Pay and charge in Northern Ireland since the 26th of April. And if anybody knows, it's the guys up at EV Association in Northern Ireland. So yeah, definitely one that needed to happen. And you can see the likes of some of the larger charge point operators in Northern Ireland, the likes of Weave, which is a great initiative, starting to roll out. BP Pulse are putting in a lot of DC fast chargers with battery buffers. So they've just plopped them around Northern Ireland and haven't told anybody, haven't told us on the EV Association Northern Ireland committee at all. Just people are saying, oh, there's another BP Pulse. Obviously not a brand that we get down here in the south. But so yeah, it's definitely starting to see. And we had the EV rally a couple of weeks ago here, which was the 5 capital cities: Cardiff, London, Edinburgh, Belfast, and Dublin. So they went on a 1,200-mile trip all the way around. And I think it was 50 vehicles. I'm not sure if anybody that was on the EV rally is watching, but if you are, jump in and let us know. I was unable to meet them here at the Dublin leg. I was asked by one of the cars if I wanted to be part of the convoy on day 5 from Newry to Dublin, but I just wasn't able to do it on the day. I know Mark, again, Nobby on Cars, was driving with the Bridgestone car. I know that Blake and Paddy, and because AA UK were doing the full run as well, and obviously there's as much as they're separate entities, it was they were covering the journey with AA, But there was a number of different organizations. There wasn't just cars, there was vans, there was a couple of ID Buzz commercials or cargos, and there was a couple of heavy good vehicles. There was a Mercedes-Benz E-Actros and something else. There was a couple of Harris Maxuses as well. So yeah, definitely. I noticed you had a Waze installed in your last video. Do BYD have an option on installing these apps? Yeah, so on my BYD, the Atto 3 that I had, Niall, I got in and it just did Android over-the-air update. So it was my phone with Waze rather than the actual car itself having the Waze app. So it was mirroring from my phone through Android Auto. That's how I got it on my video. 50 vehicles, 2 trucks, 16 vans, the rest were cars. So 32 cars. Wednesday night, maths. Been a long day. Thank you, Matthew, current chair of the Irish EV Association. And we're going to be chatting in about 22 minutes on the committee call at 8 o'clock. So lots of good stuff happening there in the committee. And so, Matthew, thank you for jumping in. Any news about the smart #1 and the smart dealership in Ireland? No, I have a video I need to put out because I did see it in Sweden a couple of months ago. Just a first impressions video. So I haven't seen it, haven't heard about it coming in. I still will make another, I'll send a message about it actually to see if there's going to be, I installed via USB. Oh, very good. Didn't realize you could do that. We were at the end of it, day 5. The Newry, I think, wasn't it? You met Mark at the City West City North charger, the Ionity, the 2 that's there. They could do with putting another 2 in there, actually, Ionity, if there was enough power to keep them going. So yeah, there's been lots happening and there's lots of good stuff coming down the line. I know that SSE Electricity, the site in Mullingar, has been held up slightly. So that was supposed to be part of that EV rally on the Friday, but unfortunately the site isn't ready yet, but it is coming, and they have a lot of sites coming down the line. So for those of you who've just joined, as I talked about, the branding on my channel is going to be changing from EV Review Ireland to Nevo EV Review Ireland after this call. So you will start to see a slight change in the colors, in the clothes that I'm wearing, in the thumbnails, but it's going to be the same me, same content, same daftness. And thank you for putting up with it. So I really appreciate it. We talked about the trip to China. So if you have missed it, come back on YouTube or come back on LinkedIn and the video will be there, or Facebook. If you want to hear how I got on last week in China with BYD, we've got lots of stuff coming down the line as well, videos wise. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. I was told the Polestar 3 display unit will be done later this summer. Yeah, it was. It was at Goodwood last weekend, and it is coming to the Polestar Space in Dublin in a couple of weeks. Yes, I'm told. Static. So that will be great to see. Beautiful car. I was at the launch in Copenhagen. There is a video up on my channel for the Polestar 3, a walk around. So that actually did very well for me. I can't remember where we're at now, but it was definitely up in the 15 or 20,000 views. So thank you very much for that. I'll be waiting for you. Thanks, Matthew. I can't say, oh, I was sick or I had no internet. I have to go straight into this committee meeting now afterwards. Anything from BYD and their testing on that site that stood out? Have you been to any other manufacturing sites to compare scale? Yeah, so I've been to Volvo, I've been to BMW, I've been to a few of them now. And yeah, very impressive. And scale-wise, yeah, probably bigger than all of them. And going to be bigger again because they're moving that whole site to a greenfield site because they need the space, because it's pretty much in the city. You know, it's not an outside area like the BMW plant that I was lucky enough to visit. So yeah, scale wise, huge, and the testing to see cars with Euro NCAP. You know, it was the signs in it and the high speed cameras, and I think they were saying that they crash test 4 a day or 4 a week. I think it was 4 a day. So yeah, there was lots of stuff going around that had camouflage on it, and very interesting. My first time seeing a crash test, I'd been in a noise and vibration There's a name on the chamber where they have all the pointy soundproofing. Hyperbolic chamber. Am I right there? Jump into the comments if you know what I'm talking about. I was in the Ford one in Dunton in the United Kingdom, and it's really weird. You walk in and there's no echo, so your voice isn't bouncing back at you. It's. I was there with Bob Flavin, and Bob suffers from tinnitus. I suffer a small bit from it, but Bob suffers a good bit from it. And best wishes to Bob. We've had a bit of bad news recently with Bob and his diagnosis, but going all good news so far. And so, Bob, our thoughts are with you. I know that you've got you've got an operation, a big operation this month. Soon, might even be this week. You might be lying in your bed recovering, Bob, listen to me now. And if you are, best luck to it. But yeah, we definitely were all thinking of you. And Bob was on that Ford trip. And when we went into that chamber, it's not hyperbolic, is it? No, it's definitely a word I've made up there, and it isn't the right word. And he was saying that it's really weird from him because with his tinnitus. The most well-branded man in Ireland. I was only in the office today, and Dennis from TradeBit said the exact same thing. So yeah, there's definitely branding. There's a new wardrobe of costume. There's a new wardrobe of clothes and stuff. Steve. So yeah, try to be on brand. I was walking through the airport and somebody spotted me because of the hoodie. So it's definitely, some people like it, some people don't, but I get a kick out of it. 4 crash tests per day at the BYD factory. Carol, my travel companion to China. Thank you, Carol. Yes, 4 crash tests per day. There was a lot to take in, and I'm glad Carol was listening. So I appreciate it, Carol. Thank you very much. Carol, we went to a hot pot restaurant on the last night in the second city that we visited. Amazing. I'd never been to. It was I have done something similar in Japan where you cook the meat and stuff in front of you in the center of the table, and we got spicy. And Carol saw some sweats from the Mayo Man. Indeed, thoughts for Bob for sure. Thank you, Mark. I can't say it, but yes, that's the word. I won't even try it. Can somebody give me that word phonetically so then I can pronounce it? Thank you. Google it. Thank you, Niall. Best wishes, Bob. We will, yeah, for sure. We're all thinking of Bob. 4 crash tests. They should have just called me. Yeah, Niall. Unfortunately, yeah. God. As I said, hopefully nobody was hurt, and that's the main thing. You don't want that. So yeah, listen, it's been really, really good on the channel. Thankfully, it's going from strength to strength. I've had my busiest month ever with subscribers, with comments, with shares. I saw Natisha from Auto Social UK. She also does some work for Electroheads, and Tish was saying that YouTube now as a creator will give you kind of like a weekly update. And something that I never really got informed before is how many people share your videos. And so like last week, 170 people shared my videos on WhatsApp was the main way that they shared them. So it's obviously people that see the video that share it with a friend or family member that's thinking about buying it, or they're thinking about buying it and they're saying, listen, Derek did a video on this video. Or they might be saying, listen, look at this silly Mayo man and the way he talks. I don't know. They're sharing the videos anyway, why ever they're sharing them. Anna Coic. I'm going to go with it. But anyway, I was in one of those chambers with Ford and now with BYD. Very good. Talking of branding, BYD needs a nice logo badge. Having build your dreams on the bootlet is a bit of naff. Yeah, a lot of people don't like it, unfortunately. A lot of people are strong. Some people don't like it. Some people are getting it removed, I'm told, from the rear, which is fine on the Atto 3, but it is built into the Dolphin. The lens is over it. And BYD, the silver logo, I think is nice, just BYD. But yeah, they definitely like to put it across the back. And even in China, it was across the back of all of their vehicles, passenger vehicles. It wasn't on the taxis, actually. It was BYD logo, the one with the red. Annie Coic. Thank you, Mark. Mayo man. Hi, Derek. Hope you're keeping well today. Keep up the amazing vids as always. Thank you very much. I whoever you are. I really appreciate it. It's a very nice community that we've built up here, audience-wise, and across LinkedIn and across Facebook and across YouTube. So I really appreciate it. And it's the community and the people who look out for me and correct me when I'm wrong and appreciate my opinion. So yeah, it's been an amazing 3 years. And I'm excited for the next phase of it now with the new branding of Nevo EV Review Ireland. Just a little name change, but definitely going to start tying things in together because the Nevo site is Ireland's only dedicated EV platform. And it is something that we're very proud of what we've built so far with a really good journey planner. You can see all the different models available in Ireland. So we've 72 full electric vehicles available in Ireland, and you can book your test drive, you can lease it, you can get your finance through Bank of Ireland. We've got some other partnership announcements coming very soon. So as all the influencers say, big news coming soon. Keep up the good work. FYI, there is a supercharger location. Vote for Lucan, Ireland. There is supercharger location. Yeah, you can now go on and vote for where you want it. So Lucan, very good. Yeah, why not? It is a very Irish thing. Build your dreams is grand. Any new EVs coming? Lots of them. Lots of them. So if you go to the different brands, there are BYD is obviously bringing out. It's going to have a number of them coming. Audi obviously have their full range. Mercedes-Benz are going to be bringing out stuff. Ford Explorer is coming. I'm excited for that as well, actually. I wasn't able to make the static event in the UK a couple of months ago, built on the MEB platform. So yeah, there's definitely lots of good stuff coming, and the Dolphin bringing that price point down, and there's going to be other smaller electric vehicles that I've been hearing about, but I haven't got confirmation on yet. It's not going to be about the fast stuff. It's also going to be about the more affordable stuff as well. Option here in Ireland for BYD logo would only be good. I think the build your dreams thing may be seen as a bit notions-y. There's some good word. Notions-y. Thank you, Brian. Very good. I'm not sure if there are any audience coming for a Tesla service. It looks like it's going well. I got my car service a couple of times. Very good. And I know they've got the summer party coming up because it's 10 years since they launched supercharging in Ireland. So on the 11th of August, there's going to be an event for Tesla drivers in Johnstone House in Enfield. It's kind of everybody pulls up together and they all kind of simultaneously watch I think it's a sci-fi movie on their Tesla screens. Kind of like an old worldy drive-through. So yeah, interesting times. So yeah, lots of cars coming, but also I'm going to start, if I can get the time, I'm noticing that a lot of my audience are interested in e-bikes. We've got some bad news this week about Van Moof, unfortunately, falling into bankruptcy in the Netherlands. But I'm going to start working closer with the team at Green Air, and they do a lot of Reese and Muller and BC Capace and other brands, again, that are on that Bosch drive system. And so I am going to get a bike on a long-term loan so I can start talking about living with it. Because lower than a car, getting a bike is more of a long-term. So I'm going to be doing more of a series on that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with the team there in Green Air in Sandyford. An amazing setup. And so more two-wheel options, but also I've noticed that my Piaggio, which was my first electric scooter video after the NIU, the new videos that I did, is going great guns, 13 or 14,000 views at the moment. So I know that the team over at Megabikes also have a couple of other brands, electric scooter wise. I'm still going through my motorcycle lessons and get me to lock in the test. So I've got all that stuff coming onto the channel soon. Tesla have a permanent test vehicle. Oh, very good for test drives. This will go live soon. Oh, excellent. That's very good. Future Mobility Campus Ireland. Thank you, Wasim. The video you did with Steve, the Tesla Ranger, was cool. Yeah, it was very interesting. So if you people who have a Tesla have the option of getting one of their mobile service technicians, is what they're technically called, but they were originally known as Tesla Rangers. And Steve was such a gentleman. Spent the full day with him, and we went around a couple of different Tesla jobs that he was able to do outside somebody's house or at their place of work. So if you haven't already watched that video, you can book it all through the app. Steve can get access to your car if he needs to open the door, open the boot. We got somebody changed their tires, did a tire rotation, and then he also did a tow hitch. And he also can do the likes of a conversion if you've got the Tesla or Model S or Model X and you want the CCS port put on it, you can go and get that swapped out for you as well. We've also got the announcement, jumping between news and what I've done on the channel. And we've got the news that the NACS, the North American Charging Standard port, is starting to be rolled out, and a lot of brands and manufacturers are starting to take that on board in North America, which would have originally have been a Tesla connector, but it is now its own standalone charging standard. So great to see it. The build your dreams in your BYD is the new dechroming of your Tesla. It's funny, Thomas. Patricia, my partner, loves red Model 3, but she prefers the one with the chrome. So some people want the chrome back. So do we think that the upcoming Project Juniper and Project Highland, the code names for Model 3 and Model Y refreshes that are coming, do we still think that we're going to be still black and not chrome, Thomas? Do you know? So lots happening in the world of EVs. We've got a lot of stuff coming down with the commercial electric vehicles as well. We've got Maxus eDeliver 7. I'm really excited. I couldn't make it over to the Iveco eDaily that was going to be on the Millbrook testing ground, which I have been lucky enough to go to do a static review of the ID7, but I wasn't able to drive around it. But Iveco did invite me over to do the eDaily, which is the world record for an electric van for towing. I think it was 3.5 ton it's able to tow. So it's something that a lot of commercial bodies and commercial fleets and operators wanted, an electric van that could properly tow. So the Iveco eDaily was, I saw it at the IAA mobility show in Hamburg last year. So there is a video on the channel with it on it. So there's the vans, and then we've got Ford with their new custom e-Transit Courier and e-Transit Custom. So we're looking forward to that. As I said, we've got the Maxus eDeliver 7 coming as well. So that electric van space, I'm really looking forward to the Volkswagen VW ID Buzz Cargo. I got to drive that in Copenhagen, but there's going to be some changes with regards to how the taxation has affected the price here in Ireland, but that's going to hopefully change in the budget, the upcoming budget here in Ireland. So the price is going to be a bit more realistic because it's a small bit on the high. Well, it's not small, but it is very much on the high side at the moment. So we're going to see a lot more of that. And then you've got all the Stellantis, and you've got the new Mercedes Citan, which is the same as the Nissan Townstar, which is the same as the Renault Kangoo. All of those that alliance grouping. Those vans are starting to come out as well. So I saw them in Sweden as well. And again, I've got a video that I need to get out. So it's all good. I saw someone added Chrome to the model. That could be my missus. She hasn't got a Tesla, but that's what she'd do. So now it's not always about dechroming. When can we expect to see 100,000 kilometer cars in the market? Mercedes EQ XX has done it. I just don't know, do we need it? Really? Like, even when I go home to Mayo and now I can do it confidently and comfortably in a number of electric vehicles, and that's only 318 kilometers, I'm still stopping to go out and jump into the toilet or get something to eat. So, but I don't know, it'll potentially be an option for uber luxurious cars. So potentially the Lucid Air long range is 1,000 kilometers, probably is kilometers, yeah. Ioniq 5 owners have been debadging the H logo, sometimes switching it to a Morse code. Oh yeah, the ... Very much like Tesla taking the T off the back of their car and putting the word Tesla. I've seen that a couple of times. Seems more work than it's worth. Steve, come on, why wouldn't you do it? Be interesting if you're trying to sell it then. Japanese manufacturers Toyota and Nissan said that to be contributing to anti-EV groups financially. Have you heard this? That's a beautiful concept car. That's the E-Legend, if I'm not mistaken, Neely. One of my favorites. I like it. I don't know if it's ever going to come to market, but I really like it. Yes, I've heard some really terrible stuff that some manufacturers have been doing with regards to anti-EV lobbying. So yeah, I won't speak to brands, but the market is there. Consumers want it. They can try and do all they want, but we're at 72,000 EVs in Ireland now on the roads. Like, very soon the market share is going to be, everybody's going to be buying electric that wants it and it works for them. Toyota are doomed, hopefully. Hi Derek, just completed a journey from Dublin through France, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Romania, the Black Sea with an IG4 with air conditioning on full blast due to the heat. No range infrastructure issue. Mark, that's the kind of stories I want to hear. Thank you so much. It's like, it does take planning. It's not perfect. It won't always be easy and simple. Like I said to Adrian on the podcast, it's not about being convenient anymore. We have to, unfortunately, change how we live, how we work, how we travel. EVs aren't going to be the solution, don't get me wrong, but it's great to hear that you could do such a long journey. Mark, will you let us know, was it mainly Ionity that you used, or was it just the different networks in each country? But Ionity, do a lot of them. I'd like the contrast of it. Would dechrome my black 3. Anyway, I wouldn't dechrome my black. I wouldn't dechrome it. Okay, yeah, you keep everything black. What was I looking at recently? That was, the BMW iX1. Everything was black. The whole lot, except for the wheels and the BMW badge. But grille, skirts, everything. It was all blacked out. Shout out to Tog Hawkinspace and the Kylemore Road who are having a DIY EV meetup. Matty, thank you so much. This is what we want to see. So a shout out to the TOG or the TOG Hackerspace on the Kylemore Road who are having a DIY EV meetup on the 26th of August. So absolutely. Matty, will you let somebody know, jump into the Dublin EV owner group on Facebook? We're happy to share that. Brian is on here as well. So Brian, you'll probably find that somewhere. But yes, best of luck to it. And we definitely need that cottage industry and that EV conversion space to get stronger and stronger in Ireland for sure. So folks, as always, the Power Hour powers through and gets super fast all the time. If you have been sitting there listening to me waffling on, if you haven't said anything yet, please jump into the comments and say that you enjoyed the hour. If you have enjoyed the hour, we would really appreciate you doing it. It's always, when YouTube sees the engagement, it is definitely one. Ionity was our preferred charger, and often ones were the met and chatted with their EV owners. By far the most convenient to use. Yeah, it's a bit expensive, but when you're doing that kind of a long range, you just want the convenience and the knowing that it's going to be there and it has multiple stalls and it is working. We'll find it and share, but please join Matty for sure. This is the hackerspace and the meetup. That would be great. Engineers Ireland are promoting it. Thank you, Matty. Most enjoyable and informative. PJ Dorley, thank you so much for sitting through that. And for those of you who have missed it or joined in late, it is pre-recorded and it jumps back on again. This has been the latest episode, number 14, I think it is 13 or 14 of the Power Hours that I have done on the channel. You're going to see a bit of change in branding, as we talked about, to the Nevo EV review. Thank you to the amazing team inside there of Finn and Simon and Liam and Sean and everybody, and Jorge for all his amazing designs. And I've no doubt forgotten somebody in there that's going to give out to me in the office tomorrow. But hopefully you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for all the engagement. It's been really great to have that conversation about all things electric vehicles. And remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thanks very much for watching, folks.